Hello and welcome to another tutorial in my series Sketching Birds. Before we start, of course, if you could subscribe, that would be terrific. Thank you very much. And also, ring the little bell icon if you want to know what's coming up next. Okay, well, the bird today is a white dove. And I'm going to draw two of Picasso's famous doves of peace. The first one is the simplest and a later one actually, which he drew in 1961, and it's seen from the side and has an olive branch in its beak. So I'm going to start with the beak and just point like that over the top of its head and a nice curving line down like that, and another line for the centre of the beak coming in here like that, and then underneath the beak you have the breast of the pigeon coming down in a curve like that. Picasso used very sinewy lines, almost as if he was writing sometimes, you know, quite calligraphic. Now the eye, if you imagine a line coming in from the end of the beak here, down to about there, and the eye is slightly triangular shape like that. A little spot there, okay. Right, now the wings, again, very script-like. He starts off this wing here with a little loop just about here, and he comes up in a big curve like that. And then it comes back in quickly, and you can see he did it very quickly and very loosely, okay? And then the back of the pigeon comes down from just about here, a nice big curve out to the tail. Again, nice and easy, like that. And the other wing starts about here with a little jiggle, like that, and then comes down like that to the feathers at the end. And one big swoop back up there, and the finishing little curl. And there we have Picasso's Dove of Peace. Now, what I'll do now is we'll get the green pen and we'll put in the olive branch. And again, Picasso used very loose, quick, kind of calligraphic lines. It starts about there, just below the beak, and you have the stem of the olive branch coming down like that. And then above that, a very quick kind of leaf shape. And then above that, another one coming out there, and one above there. And then another one, always if he's signing something, you know, comes in like that, and a quick loop like that. And that is all he does, just to give it that impression of the dove with the olive branch in its beak. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm going to move on now to the other Dove of Peace, which is a bit more colourful. Okay. Right, Picasso used four colours in this drawing, violet, red, green and yellow. He used the violet, kind of purpley blue, for the outline. And again, I'm going to start with the head. In this drawing, by the way, Picasso drew the dove with its wings outstretched, its head to the side. So this time, the beak is kind of pointing upwards. So it starts out like that, little hump like that, to a point, and then the point of the beak like that, and then the other part of the beak comes in here like that, to the point there, and then there's another little bump there, down to the neck, and top of the head appears just about here. A nice smooth line, remember? Very calligraphic lines. Now the eye this time appears in an angle down like that. Imagine this line continuing and the eye being on that line. So the eye this time is like an egg shape. It lies in there like that, okay? Okay, there we are. Now, again, the wings, very expressive, and again, very fluid in the lines. So this one starts here, and comes up on a great big swoop, like that, comes back in quickly, and then comes back out again, almost to a point back into a curve there, and then around again like this, and stops there. This one here begins about here, and then stops, and then carries on up to the point there, comes down to there, loops back, and then a nice big curve, curves back round toward the chest of the dove, which appears in there like that. Okay, now the tail, again, he used very fluid calligraphic lines, and it starts off with a little hook here. It's curved down towards the tail further, Goes back up like that, then does a little loop, back up to a point, and a bigger loop, and a slightly smaller one, coming back up, like that. Right, now again, Picasso used quite stylized lines for the olive branches, and the one that the dove has in its beak is drawn like this. There's a curve coming from here, and a little fork shape, and then it goes above the beak into a shape like that, and across, and then there's a kind of slightly twisty shape, goes up, and down, and up, then back on itself, like that. And down here, we have the olive branch, the main olive branch kind of doing something like that. And from that, you get another one curving up the way. And then here, another little one, almost like twigs, you know. And there is an extension of this one here, which turns into a little arrowhead. And then another little break, and that continues in a shape like that. And another little arrowhead down there. Over here, the olive branch starts about here with a little mark. It continues with a little loop on the other side, and then continues again with little twigs, or twig shapes rather, coming out the top. And then from about here, we have another branch, if you like, or twig coming out, and a curve like that at the side. And down at the bottom here, I think Picasso imagined was the dove's feet clasping the olive branch. So you get the olive branch going across this way. So it starts off like that, and then one of the claws appears here, and then another bit of the olive branch appears in between the claws. The other one here, claw appears here, a wee bit underneath, and then it continues across like that. And again, very calligraphic, almost as if he's signing something, you know. Goes out like this, and comes back across, and there's a big triangular shape like that. Very hieroglyphic. Okay, now let's move to the red colour. And the red up here, I think, probably represents some kind of flower. So we have this kind of loop shape with these things sticking out the top. Then move over here, and there's one here, which goes up, doubles back, goes across, and there's another loop like that. Below here, there's another one, another loop, out to the point, out to the side like that, and then back, and a shape in the centre. Down here, these two red shapes are meant to represent the feet, I think, the claws. So the more kind of like that shape. See, imagine the claw going around the olive branch, like that. And up here, you have a shape coming up in a loop, like that. And another one, more of a star shape down here, come in like that. I think that's all the red that he used. Now we can move on to the yellow. Now the shapes on this wing are actually a bit more solid, so you get this kind of almost like an island shape coming in there, and then a kind of almost like a flower head shape appearing in here, like that. And another one appearing just to the left of this red shape, like that. And then over here, a kind of star shape. And above here, another little island shape. And in this space here, another little squiggly shape, like that. Okay, and we finish off with the bluey purple shape colour again. And there's one just up here. Again, these shapes are a wee bit like knotted string, you know. There's another bit here, and a wee curve, or hieroglyphics if you like, and another one here, like that, and one up here. Like that. Excellent. Well, I hope that gives you a nice feeling for the drawing that Picasso did for the First International Peace Conference in 1949, his Dove of Peace. Very famous now, of course. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you can join me again for another tutorial. But in the meantime, of course, all the best, and happy drawing!